When we are starting out with a business, we go to YouTube, we're searching like how to start a business, how to come up with a product, how to make money. Everybody is telling you they have it figured out and they can have you make 10K a month in 90 days. That's so many videos I've seen on YouTube in the last years, and I don't think that's true, or that's the true point. I know money matters in our world. We need to feed our family, but there's something wrong with starting a business to have money. Hear me out. So, business is about helping people. I think that is the real reason. I always felt more drawn to B2C and not so much to B2B until I realized something. B2B is definitely easier to make more money fast, but there is something even more important. No matter what business you pick, it's always about people. We need to solve real problems for real people. So it doesn't matter whether you pick B2C or B2B. That's the wrong question to ask. Because B2B is still helping people. B2B means like you're selling to a business. But who is the buyer actually? It's another person. What is the business buying? The business is buying a solution to make their people's lives easier. It's never about the business. It's about, for like business to business is like, well, I'm offering a solution to another business to either like get more revenue, which in the end means the other person makes more money, which is a person making more money, or they save time, or they like get better with the personnel costs, or like there's always a benefit to another person. So that's something that I think is so fascinating throughout the whole thing, because that's something that bothers me a lot when I'm getting cold outreach emails. It's like, oh yeah, we can assess your business. It's like, sure, fair enough, but what for? Like, you can help me make more money, but then you're helping me fix a problem I have in my business. But that's the same thing as like selling B2C. The money just gets bigger. The processes might get a bit longer, or like there are certain differences between the two offers, but that's also true for B2C markets, because selling something online is different than selling something in a store. There is a different process, there is a different sales process, there is a different customer journey. That's all different because the business model is different. Doesn't mean that B2C is still not about people. And so that's what we are getting wrong more and more and more, because we offer solutions to a problem. But we're talking now about offering expensive value. It's like, what does that even mean? Let's talk about how things are and not trying to make them abstract and be like, oh yeah, like I'm making so much value and the value is shown in the money I make. Sadly, that's not true in the world, because how do you describe the value that is like, what do they call it? A doctor or a nurse even better, or deliver, might not be shown in the paycheck. And so we need to stop fixating on the amount of dollars we make and caring more about the value, the problem that we're solving, because that is something that is important. And that's the sad part, that it's hard to measure, because it's easy to measure for a business to be like, oh yeah, so if we increase our sales this month by like 10% by doing what he says, then we'll grow the whole business overall maybe like 110%. That's great. You can measure it. It's clean. It's easy. But a lot of things we can't even put a number on, because it's a question like, well, I've heard a lot of people say like, yeah, you should charge the price that you're worth. And that means in the beginning, your time is worth like $20 an hour. Then over time, you get better to $100 an hour. And that means that one a day is like $800. But I was thinking about that the other day when I was sitting at the doctor's office with my son. I was total sitting there for like an hour. So that means that hour has cost me $100 that I couldn't work in my business, per se. So was it worthless? So that's the question where it's like, okay, so 1 hour with my son is only measured by the amount of money I make. That shouldn't be true too. Because if I would say like, okay, so how valuable is an hour of playtime with my son to me? Then I might say like, oh yeah, that's invaluable. Okay, that makes it tough to measure though, because that means that any time of the day, I should actually measure the opportunity cost of missing out of time with my son. So that means that if the time with my son would be worth, let's say just because we need to put a number on, $1,000, that means like, oh yeah, then I should stop working, right? Because it's not worth it for me to keep working. And so that's the part where I think we get wrong so often, is we make things too easy with the money, and we make things too abstract with saying we need to deliver value. But that's actually not the actual the actual solution to the problem. So we offer a solution to a problem, and we need to make enough money to live off of, at the same time as not trading too much time in so we don't have time for our families. So it was easier maybe when money wasn't the number one trading currency of the world. It used to be, oh, I have too many apples, so I give you the apples, you give me the potatoes, because I need potatoes, I don't have any. So if you had what I wanted and I had what you wanted, so we exchanged. And that exchange was fair. It was not about like, ooh, like I'm making so much more, and that's why my time is so much more value. That's why my potatoes are even more expensive than yours. I think that's like the question of making money as a business is the wrong number to hunt. Because sure, it is a good milestone to keep in the back of our heads because we need to provide for our families. But the question is, we need to make it about people again. Care for people. This is the difference we have in the world where all the public traded companies are only about the big bucks. Solopreneurs can care, and we should. We can connect. We can share stories. We are known and we're real. So we can focus on actually going out of our way, doing things that are invaluable, immeasurable, because they don't scale. They are bad decisions in that sense because they are not showing up for the business numbers on the bottom line. They don't increase our monthly revenue. Yeah, but is that really what it's about? So I'm excited to have your story in the comments and see what you think to it. But to me, that just is something that I figured out along the way, where I think it's so important to look at all the stuff that we do and then talk to people, make a connection, be real. And then business becomes just a matter of an exchange. Because I have something that I can help you with, where you might need me. And then I'll help you with that. And we'll find a solution. But it's not about saying, oh yeah, like I need to make this much money. There are different ways to different things, but if you only focus on the money, are you actually helping people? Are you just helping people because you want the money? And that's just a bad motivator, because it doesn't actually add value to the world. Yeah, it might add more to a bottom line of a big company, but don't get too sucked into that world. Try to be real. Add value to people. You can exchange money. Like I don't think it's bad to have money, but money shouldn't be the end all be all, the thing that we focus on, even in a business, because we need to do other things instead.